Guys, this is part 2 of Squad Tour and what happened at Squad Tour. I'm gonna leave where I left off in part 1. I went to Squad Tour yesterday and I'm gonna talk about where I left off. So I left off right before the meet and greet started in the last video. So, then after a few minutes, and it's like, next thing you know, like the famous people that we were there to see. I won't say the squad because 2 of them were squad members. Some of them were friends of the squad. One of them might become a squad member, and then some of them are related to whether I one of them was Piper's camera guy slash editor, Hunter Hill, and one was Gavin's camera guy slash editor, Brian. And then one of them was Piper's mom, Tiffany Raquel, and one of them was Piper's dog, Frank Coogan, one of her dogs, and one of them was Gavin's mom. And Mom Teresa. Now, I got to, at that point, I had already pet, Frank, I, 4 times at that point already, because, he was just walking around the venue and stuff, and, whenever, Piper's aunt would, walk into the room or something to do something, he would just follow her, and he would just come up to the fans, and, fans would just start, petting him and stuff, because he's a dog. And, yeah, so I got to pet him a couple of times. And then, and the group got together, and then I went up and took a group picture, and everyone got to take a group picture, and once everyone had a group picture, then they got to go around and meet each one, and there were 10 minutes of the meet and greet, so 10 minutes for it. And so I went, got a group picture with them, and then I went up and, as me and my dad were waiting for everyone else to get a group picture, next thing you know, we turned to the side and we realized we're standing next to Piper's mom, Tiffany Raquel, and Frank Coogan, her dog. That was really exciting, and my dad and me got to talk to, Tiffany Raquel and stuff. And then, and that was really cool. And then, I got the very first Frank Coogan signature, or autograph. So, yeah. And you're kind of how does a dog, sign? How does a dog write their name? The answer is Piper's mom, was holding Piper's dog, Frank Coogan, and she was also holding the marker, and, she had his paw, touching the marker, don't worry, completely fine, completely safe, and she was technically the one signing it, but it was really cool, because he still touched the marker, and I got the very first Frank's signature, because she went Frank can sign it, and I'm okay. And you got 10 minutes where we can make TikToks, take photos. I ended up taking photos because of the fact that I do not have my TikTok account signed in on my phone. I know everyone does TikToks on their phone. I have it signed in on my tablet. So yeah. So anyways, long story short, did that, and then we found out that Frank, I guess my dad told Piper's mom, Tiffany, that I was autistic. I guess, I don't know. Because then she said, and Frank is autistic. And that was really cool. Really cool. And then, yeah, it was cool because I did Frank Pugan. And, he's a dog. He's a famous dog that has, way more followers than I have. You can take the amount of followers I have on Instagram and times it by 10, and it still does not equal to how many followers he has on Instagram. He has a lot of followers and a lot of fans, and it's really cool to meet a famous dog. So then I went over and I, Piper signed on my sketch pad. And then next thing you know, Piper's mom, now with the parent ticket, and technically my dad is not supposed to talk to them or be in photos unless they say it's okay and stuff. Well, next thing you know, my dad ended up in a photo with me and Piper because next thing you know, I was getting ready to get a photo with Piper and Piper's mom told my dad she told him to go get in the photo. She's like, I go over and get in the photo with them, I'll take it. And then she took a photo and now I am never planning to get rid of my phone because that is something that even when it doesn't work anymore, I'm keeping that phone. It was touched by someone famous. It was touched by Piper's mom. And that explains the club. I'll get to that in a minute. Well, then, and that was really fun. And then I went around and I did a meet and greet with all the famous kids and teenagers there. And it was really fun. Got autographs from all of them. And then I went over to Gavin's mom and she signed my sketch pad and she signed my sketch pad and then I got Piper's mom to sign my sketch pad and I got photos with all of them and then Piper's mom told me, she's like, looks like you still need Brian and Hunter's autograph. Then we found Hunter and he signed my sketch pad and I got a photo with him and then and we found Brian and got photos with him and he signed my sketch pad. It was a whole really fun thing. And then we went downstairs and got our standing spot right up front and so actually my dad got to meet and greet the famous people too, even though that's not what usually happens with a parent ticket, but that's what ended up happening. And then next thing you know, it was just really fun. It was really, really fun, and we went downstairs, and a few minutes later, Hunter came up on stage, and was just up on stage, not really doing anything. And then Ryan comes up on stage with a Polaroid camera. And comes over to the area that I was standing in and asked do you want a photo? And I said yeah, and so he took a photo and then brought it over and gave it to me and everyone in my area got really mad. Got really annoyed. They looked like they were annoyed because they didn't get Polaroid taken by Brian. I did. Not trying to brag. But not trying to brag. But that happened and that was really, really cool for me. And he told me to wait 10 minutes for it to appear because when I first got it, one side was black and one side was black with a white outline. and then 10 minutes later there was a photo on it, and it was really cool. And it got it for free, and that was really cool. And then next thing you know, that whole thing was like really, really cool. Oh, and then that just was really cool. And Hunter like started like on stage and like I'm not really doing anything and didn't really start the show. And then finally Hunter explained some rules that they had, which was that they want parents off to the sides, like either towards the back or off to the sides a little bit, and because he wants the entire like middle section and the front row to be like kids and teens only, or the people he wanted to not be parents, and that way we could have the most fun we possibly could. And then he explained that like if he sees anyone like pushing or shoving someone else or anything like that, then he will come on stage, they will pause the show, and that person will have to leave. He said because it's for safety reasons and stuff. Then it was really fun. And he announced that a girl, Allie, he was gonna start, and she came on stage and she did a few songs, and that was really fun. And then Karen Palmer came on stage and she did a couple songs, and that was really fun. And at that point, I thought that I was gonna lose my voice. I thought that I was gonna wake up today and not be able to like really talk because I thought I was gonna lose my voice because I was screaming so much with that excitement and stuff, and like I was screaming with that excitement. I was like, sorry, I'm readjusting because I was sitting on top of my foot. Like, I was sitting on my leg for a little bit. And so, anyways, that was really, really exciting and fun. And then, the group came on stage, so that was really fun. They came on stage then, and a bunch of, like, really fun stuff happened. And in the show, they did a merch toss that, unfortunately, I did not get anything from the merch toss, but I actually wasn't disappointed because the only two things that they were doing for the merch toss, I ended up getting, which was this shirt, and also a like gray like sweatshirt, or like hoodie. And I ended up getting that, and I will explain that in a minute. And then they did a TikTok challenge where they brought a couple people on stage, and then they showed them like a video or two videos of like that of a TikTok dance that they done before, and they did one run through. So like everyone got to do one run through. Everyone had like a famous partner. So like a fan would have a partner with one of the people that were part of the show, and like it was really cool. And I wasn't like I didn't try to like raise my hand for that because I thought they were doing a thing with the birthday pin where if you had one, you go on stage, but apparently not. This wasn't like their normal show, and it was completely different from their normal show because of the fact that like it was a special show where it wasn't really squad tour, it was just famous people that I was really excited to meet and I looked up to and sort of show, and things were just completely different for a lot of reasons. And at one point in the show they explained why Jensen, Lem, Jenna, and Eliana were not there and stuff. So they explained that, and it was good reason. And yeah, and Piper like said she wished they were there, like, so that was the whole thing. And when she said that, I'm like, oh wait, are we about to like watch her have a breakdown on stage? We did not. And so yeah, like it was really, really fun. And then all of a sudden, then they did another thing. They announced they were doing a last two challenge. And it was gonna be, they were doing a last two challenge, and they started choosing fans to come on stage to do the challenge. And I didn't even have my hand raised, and I'll explain why. I thought they were doing a birthday pin thing, and I didn't really had a birthday pin, the kind that you like pin on your clothes and stuff. I thought if you had that, then you would get to go on stage, and I want to be fair in case they were doing that later in the show. I was trying to be fair and like not raise my hand and end up going on stage more than once. Like I didn't want to take a spot from someone else, but I ended up taking a spot anyway because all of a sudden, I didn't even have my hand raised, by the way. All of a sudden, and Piper looks in the audience, looks directly at me, walks to the edge of like the stage, and points at me and says, "And do you want to come up here?" So I went up on stage for last two challenge, and it gets better. By the way, this video is not me trying to brag. It's just that like I want to talk about a really fun day that I had. A day that like I had like it's never fun finding out a week after your birthday that your mom, someone who had done so much for you and gave you money to buy merch and something that you wanted to do for your birthday. Like, I want to go to Squad Tour for my birthday, and she gave me money to buy merch. Or she told my dad to buy the ticket. Like, and she wanted me to have fun. And so, like, I want to share the story of what happened because I know that's what she would have wanted. And she wanted me to have so much fun. And I did. And I did, like, would I say it's the best day of my entire life? Honestly, the answer to that is no. For a lot of, like, it's one, for a lot of reasons. And I say that because, mainly for the reason of knowing, and that first up, it wasn't the entire squad, it was famous people, and that's really cool. And it was a day that, like, in high up on my list of best days of my life. But the main thing was, but it was different going without my mom being home. Like, let me explain that. I'm fine. I'm fine. Like, I would never say like losing her was easy. I'll never say it's easy. But I'm fine, and it was different because last year I came home after having this amazing day and told her all about it. This year that just didn't happen. But the main reason it wasn't the best day ever is I know what Piper's been through this year, and I know that like this year has not been great for her, and I know that like a lot of tears have happened this year for her, and that was like the main reason. And yeah, like that was like the main reason. And the whole squad wasn't there, but a lot of really cool famous people were there. And that was really cool. And it's really cool to say that my dad held the door open for famous people. And like that was incredible to say that. So then I ended up going up on stage, and Hunter walked me over to Emily and said, "And you two are partners for this." And then they announced that it was a last to stand on 1 foot challenge. Now, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna explain. I, cheated, 4 times, and let me explain this. So, Hunter was, in charge of, watching to, see who's the last to put their foot down. And Piper was in charge of giving us challenges. So what that meant, a challenge to make it even harder. I put my foot down 4 times before I got out, and each time, the thing is yeah, that's cheating, but at the same time, I did get out the 5th time. Hunter, said that I was out, but, Emily said it's fine, it ended up being really fun. But the only reason I kept putting my foot down was because, 2 of the times it was because, if I didn't put my foot down, and I was starting to lose balance, and I didn't want to knock Emily over, and I knew if I didn't put my foot down, that was gonna happen, because, Emily's my partner, we were holding hands, it was incredible. That explains the gloves. So, yeah, anyways, a lot happened, but also I just did, okay? And then I put, they had to do, a bunch of mini challenges. We had to, I hop on one foot in a circle. We had to, I hop 3 steps forward. And the thing is, I feel well, at first I thought maybe if I would do more of a dance pose, I would do better. But since I was doing a front passe, so it's the same thing as a passe, which is a type of dance pose. But instead of your, leg facing the side, it faces the front. What I mean by that is, I'm going to show you what a passe is. Let me hold on to this. This is a passe. This is a front passe. So anyways, but then I realized that wouldn't have made a difference. I feel like that might have made it hard. And so I'm happy that even. So anyways, the whole object of the challenge was to go through all these little mini challenges and not put our foot on the ground. Not touch the ground with one foot. We could choose whatever side we wanted. And I did my right side as my balancing side because it's my better balancing side. So that was really fun. And then, next thing you know, by the way, this isn't me bragging, it's my mom wanted me to have fun, and I want to, tell you I had fun. I want to tell you the story, what happened, because I have family that watches my channel. And the next part sounds really braggy, and I'm not trying to be braggy, and this sort of thing means a lot to me, and this happened. And as much as I don't want to be braggy, I know that, I also want to, tell you what happened, because it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me, and, it's really good for me to just, talk about this, because I get excited talking about this, and that's good, because that's just, a really good, fun thing. So then, next thing you know, then I got out, and Emily, said it was fine, and then next thing you know, they finished the challenge, and I thought, oh, we're gonna walk off stage, but then that's not what happened, because next thing you know, we turned to the side, and Hunter told all of us to get in a circle, and he, him and Emily, walked me over to, where the circle was gonna be. So we got in a circle, and then Gavin, and, had a money gun, and I won free money. Like, I won a good amount. Like, it wasn't, like, an insane amount, but I won $25. But that was, like, pretty good and really exciting. And then, and they told us, like, we could use it to, like, get merch, whatever. So, then by the time I made it back in the audience, I was not, like, I was second row, not really front anymore, because a little girl, like, I got in my spot, and I was fine with that, because first up, she was shorter than me, and also I had a really good spot still, and I could, like, still reach out and, like, high-five them and stuff like that. So, then, like, the show went on, I got, like, a lot of really fun stuff. I got to, like, I high-fived some of them. I got to, like, touch their hands. I got to touch Gavin's really expensive Rolex. Like, that is, like, really expensive. I never thought I would touch a Rolex. And then they did a merchandise that I got so close to getting, and which was Gavin threw his hat in the audience, and whoever caught it got to keep it. I was so close to catching it. It, like, went in right behind me and my dad. Like, it went right behind us, and someone else caught it. Well, it went right behind us, and it fell on the floor, and then someone else picked it up and caught it. And we didn't want to be rude. So anyways, like, it was really fun, and then after the show, like, after, like, having this amazing day after the show, I went and took photos I got in line to get more merch because I had more money to spend, and I really wanted this one, like, hoodie that they had, and so, my dad gave me a little bit more money. He's like, he knew I wanted this hoodie, and he's like, it's squad tour, or it's, like, famous people tour, or, like, he just wanted me to have a lot of fun, and he wanted me to, like, everything I wanted, he wanted to do whatever he could to make it happen, and, like, as long as, like, we're being fair and nice, but when it comes to, like, being safe, like, fair and nice, that was, like, his thing. But when it came to, like, oh, like, I want to buy merch, then he was gonna let me buy merch. If I, like, wanted to go on stage, then he was gonna try to get me on stage. And if he could, but Piper did that. So, it was really fun. So then I took pictures with Peggy, Piper's manager, and bought more merch, and she looked excited, and surprised that, like, this was the second time at the merch booth, and again, to spend more money and get more merch, and then I ended up getting the sweatshirt, and I got a thing that can be a necklace or a keychain, so that was really cool. And then I just had a really fun day. And as we were in line, I got to, like, stand near Teresa Magnus, and that was really cool. Gavin's mom. So I'm going to say peace out. Bye. One day I'll get past wearing, like, the gloves. But I have a thing where when I touch famous people, like, when I, like, high-five famous people, hug famous people, like, things like that, I have a habit of, like, getting beyond excited about it. Peace out.